no point for that because we got there and there wasn't even the radioactive injections there ready for us patients, and we were all sat there in the waiting room and not knowing what to do, anxious, nervous, like what is happening. And then we finally got word. I am 20 and this definitely was not what I was thinking I'd be doing at 20 years old, but here we are. So today I'm getting a radioactive nuclear medicine scan, which basically means they're injecting something radioactive into my whole entire body just to see what's going on inside. This was the only way you could see what was going on because I've had so many investigations before done. This was another type of scan that could help me get some answers, and also if you ever get one of these scans too, this just gives a little bit of insight to what it really is like. I know this sounds pretty dramatic, but I guess it kind of is. It's also such a niche topic as well. I've never really seen a YouTube video on this, especially someone so young having this type of scan done as well. But I think there's some awareness needed here, so I'm making this video and I hope it helps. Welcome to my channel. I feel like I didn't even sleep properly last night or the night before, just in the run up to this scan as well. Not because I'm scared of the scan itself, well maybe a little bit, but I've had scans before and obviously this is a different type of scan just because the needles, the whole radioactive everything, it is all a bit too much, but it will be worth it for the result. And it's just the whole thing of thinking, will they find something, will they don't? It's good if they find something, but it's also good if they don't, obviously, but you want them answers. And I think anyone with chronic illness understands that you do want the answers that could help you, but you just want to be recognised and validated from getting the answers. I am 20 and this definitely was not what I was thinking I'd be doing at 20 years old, but here we are. I did try and keep it a pretty normal day. I tried to get up and go with the flow and try and get changed, try and go and push myself to go to this scan, because obviously that's a whole task in itself, just to actually go, and it was pretty far away for me. But obviously it's not really a normal day, as if I'm sitting in a hospital room for hours. I also tried not to Google that much before this scan, just because I know I'd really scare myself and I wanted to go in quite blind to it. I knew the logistics of what was happening, the injection, the scan itself, and sitting with the injection with the radioactiveness in you for a while before they do in fact scan you. But I just didn't want to Google it all just because it might do more harm than good. I go in first and I was actually pretty early. I was one of the first ones to get it done, and oh my goodness, it was a whole situation going on because the actual radioactive injections weren't even in the hospital by the time we got there. So even though we had to rush and get there was no point for that because we got there and there wasn't even the radioactive injections there ready for us patients, and we were all sat there in the waiting room and not knowing what to do, anxious, nervous, what is happening. And then we finally got word 2 whole hours later that they were coming, and then I asked one of the radiographers there and they did say this was a normal occurrence, which is even worse, but at least it was normal in a way, so it wasn't scary anymore. But I was the youngest one sat in that waiting area. If I didn't bring my mum along with me, it would have been even more nerve-wracking. Everyone else in that room were above 30, and it's a scary place because everyone's going through their own thing in that patient waiting room, and sometimes you can have stuff in common, but it is a bit hard when there's a 20-year age gap. But you do try and get along when you just have something nerve-wracking going on and you just want to spill everything out and get those anxious nerves out. After I got the radioactive that sounds so weird, but after I got the radioactive injection taken, you go into a little room, they do it. It wasn't as bad as I thought it would be, and it was very close-knit and they make you feel so comfortable, so it was so good. But, well, as good as it can be. But it's just a strange thought to carry around that you've got this radioactiveness inside of you, and it's just is this giving me superpowers? What is this doing to me? And I was am I going to feel it? Am I going to feel cold, hot? What is going on? Because with the CT scan, for example, you'll feel you've kind of weighed yourself and you've got something hot going in, but it was nothing like that. I literally did not feel it in my body at all, which is a good thing, I guess. So you don't even have to worry about that. Then it's time for the actual scan itself, and it is kind of hard getting onto the actual scan itself. I'll insert a picture of it because it's quite big and bulky compared to the normal MRI or CT scan. So I literally had to crawl into it. I had to ask to put the bed lower down. It was a whole thing. I feel like that's the weird thing about appointments like this and just chronic illness in general, because it doesn't always look dramatic. You don't look like you feel like it's going to be your last day ever and your pain is just like rocking you down. You look completely fine. That is the most hardest thing ever, because behind the scenes, things like this, appointments like this, scans, waiting for results, learning how to explain your symptoms to every other doctor, whoever you're meeting, and that's all. Learning how to advocate for yourself and kind of becoming used to those different types of environments. It's quite overwhelming, and you never really expect to be in this situation until you are in that situation. And then when the scan is done itself, it's just done. You can just leave. You literally can leave. You can dip, you can go home, rest finally, which I was so relieved afterwards. I didn't have to stay there any longer because we were there pretty much the whole day, and I just wanted to get home ASAP. I did need some food though, because after that whole day I needed some more energy, so we did end up going into Waitrose, which was near, because I just needed some fuel and some energy. It was quite nice getting to a newer supermarket to see what was going on, because I think at that time I was going through such a bad flare having this scan, and I knew after the scan I'd also be in a flare from everything, so I knew that would be the last time out that I could push myself and then I could come home and rest. When you do leave, it's no big moment. You don't get the results straight away, unfortunately. I wish that was the case. Like, why isn't technology like that nowadays? Why can't we get a scan and get some results straight away? You think there would be results like that nowadays? It's 2026, come on. There's AI now.
Seriously, right?
I don't know what the results are going to be yet. Unfortunately, the NHS does not work as quick as we want it to work, but we can hope, we can pray that I'll get to know as soon as we can. If you are getting this scan, oh my god, why is that such a tongue twister? But if you are getting this scan soon, just know it's not as scary as you think it's going to be, and they'll guide you through the whole process, and hopefully you'll get the results quicker than I do. But thank you so much for watching. Make sure to like, comment and subscribe. Comment if when you're getting the scan done, or if this video helped you in any way. And I hope this video does help if you're feeling alone and you are also the youngest person getting this scan, because it does kind of feel like that. But I hope you know you are not alone. Thanks for watching.